maybe 12:15. It's 1:30 and now I feel the full effects. I totally feel super great. My energy level is medium, copacetic. I feel wonderful. The Magnadine that I ordered was the premium, which I was a little concerned because it has alkaline in it, but it doesn't have like the king strain. When I read the king strain, I was more interested in that. And according to their strains, you would need only half of what you already take. So sometimes I take a teaspoon and take some off the top, and it still looks really dark and rich. So what I did was I went and ordered the king strain, and what I'm gonna do is half of that, because I'm gonna be using the king strain for days that I'm feeling really low and need the energy. So, and at the same time, I could start bringing myself down from the white Magnadine, which I'm probably going to be using a little bit more often because of the lack of energy and motivation until I start building up myself. But I also going to be doing it, like try it every other day or something like that. So I won't get accustomed to it too much to the point where I'll always be needing it. I'm very mindful of that. So far, so good on that aspect. I don't know. My body's funny. Because every time I take Kratom, I go to the bathroom, which is okay by me because I suffer from that anyway. So before I said I wasn't going to clean, but I'm going to take the opportunity because every time I take the white Magnadine, I go into almost 7 hours of straight up energy. And that's enough time for me to clean my house, put it in order, get my paperwork done, because tomorrow I want to go do my taxes. They need to be done so some bills can be paid and I can catch up. And I ordered the king strain because it's double the alkaline and I could use less of it and it'll last me longer. And I will probably use it every other day. If I feel like I don't need to use it, then fine and great. I won't use it. That's even greater for me. But right now, those greens and reds, I am going to completely leave them alone. I know I'm saying that now, but maybe something along the line might happen. But I'm going to have to leave it alone because it's for withdrawals. And I'm not really going through withdrawals. I might be going through something else along with like the post-acute, whatever's left, whatever's happening. I don't know. It's an issue sleeping, but I sleep because I take my Risperdal. But I do keep waking up like 7 or 8 hours later, like mid-morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's too early. And then I start tossing and turning, which gets me confused because I can't get back to sleep because I already had like 7 or 8 hours of sleep. But I do manage after 4 o'clock, about 6, I'll get another hour of sleep, which is great. But each time I say I'm going to take the Risperdal a little later, I don't. So I have to put a time on that. I really have to put a time on that. So I'm hoping, I did the Magna this morning, today, just a little while ago. And I'm hoping that tomorrow, being that I'm off, I'm well rested and won't need it. That's what's usually been happening. But when I go to work, like I told you, those 3 days, those 12-hour shifts, they really knock me in my ass. So that's when I need the Kratom more on those days. And during those other 4 days, I really don't take it unless I want to enjoy a cup. And which is good because I won't get no, habit or anything from it. But like I said, I ordered the king strain so I could pull back a little bit because I do want to continue the white Magnadine for days that I'm feeling low energy. That is my major problem right now. Some days I wake up feeling great, and those days are when I don't work. Isn't that something? Because it throws my whole schedule off. I'm fine 4 days in a row. I get my sleep on like normal people. But when you work those shifts like that, they really, after couple of years, they take a toll. And I think since I detoxed from the Suboxone, it took a toll on me, and it's saying I can't work that shift anymore. But even though sometimes I've been having a hard time getting up when I do have those days that I go to work, especially the back-to-back Friday and Saturday. I work Friday, get off Saturday morning. I have to go to sleep because I got to get up later on to go back to work at 8 o'clock. And if I even touch a cup of caffeine, which sometimes I need to get motivated in the morning to finish my task, I am done for the rest of the day. Can't sleep. Then I'm back at work with no sleep to do another 12 hours. That's 24 hours. And my body is really kicking my ass when that happens. So I have to find a way to change that. I'm having a hard time changing that. Like every time I try, it's like, to me, like I need to go cold turkey and leave the fuck. I gotta leave that caffeine alone. It's seriously become a problem, and when I'm on Suboxone, I didn't care. And I didn't think caffeine was a friggin' problem, especially when you're clean and all you have is like what addicts say, you could take everything away, but don't take my cigarettes and my coffee away. We fine. But caffeine is an issue. And the cigarettes is an issue for me now because when I do the Kratom, I smoke. But sometimes when I do those red and green strain, they really fuck me up. It's like the chemicals is no good. When I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm on a strain and I smoke a cigarette, I feel like shit. So maybe those chemicals there don't mix. I've seen a lot of videos where people say stress you, try not to smoke because it's not a good feeling. It has other chemicals which do interrupt the kratom. And I do feel that way, So I do smoke when I'm on the white magnet, but it doesn't bother me like the green and the red strains bother me. No doubt they work wonderful. I kicked that opiate habit. Wonderful. Now my problem is just lack of motivation sometimes. And that happens when I'm back at work and I can't get the proper sleep that I need. So therefore I might have to, I said I was going to go to the job and tell them I'm going to give it another 2 weeks. But if it continue, I'm definitely going to have to leave it because my health is important. I came too far and I just don't want to go through that. I just really don't want to go through that. I be doing fine for 4 days. And then when those 3 days come, I really hate going to work because I'm fine the rest of the days. Like I don't always take the white magnet. There's days I don't take it, like I took it today because I had it rough, and I had a rough night, like morning, really mid-morning. I had a rough mid-morning. So I needed that pick me up because the coffee wouldn't do it. So like tomorrow, like tonight, I'll be able to sleep fine and wake up tomorrow and won't need the kratom because my body has gotten the rest that it's needed, since the last 3 days has been so upsetting. And then I'll be doing fine to Wednesday. And then Wednesday, I'm okay. Thursday, I'm off. But then when that Friday and Saturday, it's a problem. But see, this weekend, I don't have to work Saturdays. So therefore, I'm still going to, leave that caffeine alone, sleep Saturday, going to work on Friday and ask for another day to make up my third day, and see how that goes from there. But I'm going to see because there has to be a change in this. I can't continue those stinking stupid hours. It's just tearing my body up. And like I said, now since I don't have Suboxone, everything is so different. The air smells different. The food smells different. Cigarette stinks to me and I still keep smoking and go figure. But I'm going to try my best today to slow the hell on down. I got gum and I got patches and I need to just start implementing that at midnight. I'm going to literally put it down. And if I could put that opiate down like I did in its 42 days and I still be fighting. There's days that I've been experiencing cravings out of nowhere. And that's when I'm feeling my lowest. So when I'm feeling my lowest, that's when I'm going to reach for the white magnet because it takes that shit away from me. And those awful thoughts about wanting to probably get high. I'd be like, okay, it's been 40-something days. I do one of those 2 milligrams and I'm like, it'll be like a brand new high all over again, like I just started. Go figure. I'm still an addict. And as someone call me an addict, I don't have a problem with that because I'm admitting it to the whole world. And I really don't care. But personally, I do. But if you call me an addict, okay, so be it. I know who I am. Been an addict all my life. Nothing is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is to try to stay clean. Clean is the hard part Being an addict is another thing. But staying sober is a whole different story. It's a fight within itself, you know? And once I'm hoping and praying that these months will pass by and I could finally say it's 7 or 8 months and I'm finally getting all my strength back and all my clarity and everything. I will be so happy, you know, even though, let me tell you, when I detoxed, the first 8 days were brutal. I didn't know how to use the dosage or nothing. I vomited, I shitted, I did everything. It was horrible. I almost threw it away. My sister told me give it another chance. I wasn't working. I went through it, tossing and turning. I couldn't cry because I didn't have the energy. I couldn't walk the dog. And when I walked the dog, it's a Shih Tzu. A Yorkie so tiny. Really, he doesn't even have the strength of a bulldog. And he was literally pulling me to where I couldn't. He was going too fast for me. A little tiny dog. That's no strength at all. The first 3 weeks was the worst week of my life until finally I got the Kratom together, and still I had a hard time with it. You know, there was days it would control me, and then there was times where I had to find a way to schedule it because I would wait till full withdrawal mode to take it, and that had to stop because sometimes at work I would go into full withdrawal and I'll be called for a task and I'm feeling like shit. So I started timing it. All right. The green was only lasting me 4 hours tops. So I had to keep redosing myself and checking the time so I wouldn't go into that because I can't take the red strain to work because I'll fall out. So I found myself taking more of the green. I had no choice. But then eventually it started lasting longer and longer and longer, meaning that I was really withdrawing from the opiates was coming out of my body because the Kratom was lasting longer. From 4 hours, it went to 5 and 6 and 7. And then it got to the point where it went to 10, 11, 12. Until finally, one day I woke up and no withdrawals whatsoever. No, nothing. I woke up, no sickness, no nothing. Usually I wake up sick and make my Kratom and whatever. That day I didn't make it and I knew it was over. But yet still, you know, it wasn't over because there's days that you still feel funny. But as far as the physical part was over, yes. The leg, RLS, restless leg syndrome, was another issue. I never jumped so much in my life, and the spasm of my feet would curl up, hurt so bad. Intense headaches. I still, up to this day, get intense headaches. And sometimes it comes from the caffeine, and sometimes from the lack of sleep really makes my head want to blow up. You know, it's a bad fucking experience. I don't wish that on nobody. And sometimes when I start craving that Suboxone, I just be thinking about the time that I put in and be like, Lord, help me one more day. One more day. And one more day makes a difference. One more day adds another day that you're not on it, you know? And before I know it, I'm 42 days. And on the 12th would be 60 days. That's 2 months I haven't done any Suboxone. That would be a full 60 days when I go see my doctor. And I didn't see him this month, and he friggin' went and got my meds to me without me even giving urine. So it's a money-making thing, you know? But I plan to go see him sometime this week before the end of the week and let him know I need to see him one more time to explain my absenteeism. If he wants urine, go figure, he'll take it or whatever. But I have no appointment for next month, so I'm going to make sure I drop in because that's what I usually do. I drop in. I want to see. I need to make an appointment with him. I missed my last appointment, but he sent the meds. Do I take urine or do I just get another appointment? And that's what I'm going to tell him. Hopefully by the 12th, hopefully I'm praying that I won't relapse or anything. I will have a full 60 days. On the 16th of March will be 60 days off of Suboxone. And I'm sure as a doctor in his, you know, smart aleck mind, he'll say, okay, there's no need for you to go on and you've been 60 days off of it. I mean, he'll be a real dick to tell me I'm not ready. Are you kidding me? I haven't taken it in 60 days. When that day comes, don't keep me on something to keep me going, to keep your pockets flowing. You know, give me a peace of mind. My body needs to rest. I need to become me. I want Ada back again. Ada's not a bad person. I'm a loving, fun person to be around with. But I'll never forget what I went through. Never. And I think that's what keeps me stronger. Every time I get to my low points, I keep remembering. Every time I have a craving of Suboxone, I keep remembering. Remember what you went through? You remember how you laid in this bed almost for 4 weeks? 4 weeks I laid in this bed. And I was off every other weekend. I wouldn't go to work. I was only working 2 days for the past 5 weeks. So I took a hit financially. Lucky I had a little bit put aside for emergency. And it's always good to have something for emergency because it came in handy. It was for school, but to me, this is more important because if I don't have myself under control, I can't concentrate in school. And I didn't want to be on no more Suboxone anymore. I don't want to be on that anymore. You know, I want to move on with my life. Life has a lot of meaning and it's beautiful if you live it free of anything, of everything. So on that note, I'm going to start cleaning up and I'm going to take my little dog for a walk because he's been barking like crazy. And I want to enjoy the strain, which I am enjoying, and probably cook something. And I wish this feeling would never stop, but unfortunately, Kratom has his little life too. But when I take the white magnets out, I'm good for 7 hours. So go be it. I'll be all right. If I get a headache, I'll just take a Tylenol. But I won't do any more strain because at the end of the day, that'll be by the end of the day. I'm fine. Now I need to bring it down a level. You know, so I won't take no red for no sleeping or nothing. I'll just take my regular Risperdal, my antidepressants, and go the fuck to sleep and wake up tomorrow. And hopefully I should be well rested by tomorrow. But I just needed a little pick me up this morning just to get everything back in order like I usually do when I work the weekends. Monday starts my order, where I get everything in order for the next 3-4 days, actually, Wednesday and Thursday. And then when Friday and Saturday come, I'm a fucking mess. And it just rolls all into Monday. And I'm done feeling that way. And I don't know, it might happen again this weekend. But I hope not, because I'm pretty sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I feel great. I'm going to take my dog for a walk and I'm going to clean up, but I'm going to do a quick cleaning. I'm not going to be all day. I'm not scrubbing walls or doing none of that. I'm just going to get the house in order enough, get my paperwork in order, get the address that I need to go do my taxes, get that done, go to my job, speak to them in reference to some money they owed me, and to really discuss the case that I'm on. Because I think it's more conducive for me to go back on first shift. That was me, always working first shift. I took night shift to have these days. But I'll tell you, it was a good thing that I did switch, because it was much better for me to have 4 days off. And I had all that time to detox at home. Now, if I would have had a full day time shift, putting in all my 40 hours in 5 days, I would have been in a heap of trouble during the detox, meaning I wouldn't have been able to work. But since I work for 3 days only, 12 hours a week, I'll do 36 hours, but the rest I'm off. I was able to do that detox. Some people are not fortunate enough. They work full time, and detox is hard. Detoxing is hard. And it's hard if you work full time. I think it's pretty much hard to do, unless you have some vacation time coming up. And I mean a month vacation, because it'll take about 2 to 3 weeks to detox physically, I think. But with the buprenorphine, it took me like 3, maybe tops 4 weeks to initially stop withdrawing. And because it's longer than the methadone. I thought methadone would be longer, but go figure. I read this was longer, and it was longer. I'm living proof. It took about 4 weeks for me to stop completely withdrawing. I feel a little here and there, but not enough to say, oh, I'm dying or nothing like that. But there's times that I caught a virus, which I thought was from the kratom. It wasn't the kratom. It was a stomach flu, you know. But when you get clean, you get scared. You're doing all right, and then all of a sudden, 3 days later, you're back down the hill and you're getting this, and you got a runny nose, and you got a stomach, diarrhea, cramping, headache. And, you know, But somebody told me it can't be the Kratom. The Kratom only gets you, it's like a caffeine withdrawal. And for me, that's going to be hard because I drink like 6, 7 cups of coffee a day. But I already drank 3 cups and I'm not going to touch it for the rest of the day because I got to get off of that shit. You know, I need to only have a cup a day. I'll say I'm going to not be truthful here. I'm not being truthful. 2 cups and I'm okay. Like right now, I feel like having a cup of coffee. Like that's fucking weird. And I can't continue. Like I have to slow down. So on that note, I'm going to finish doing what I'm doing. I just want to let you go and the guys know how I did on the Magna, the white Magna, which is awesome. And I'm going to clean up a bit, take my dog out. I don't want to waste the day and get my paperwork ready. I see you guys later. Ta-ta.